Hey guys, it's me, Logan Oliver, your amazing online Comp 1 instructor. First of all, a quick announcement. You may have seen that I just kind of put up an amendment to the class in an announcement that says that instead of things being due on Sundays at noon, I'm going to make it Mondays at noon. And that way, one of the reasons you take online classes is because you're busy, can't make it up to the school for whatever reason, and it's better for you. So I figured I'd better give you that whole Sunday and then early mornings Monday to get things done. So I don't know what that's going to mean for us as far as things being due later in the semester, but right now, until you hear differently, things are going to be due on Mondays at noon. I know I said in the welcome module that it'll be Sundays at noon, but I hope you see the benefit, I'm sure you will, of Mondays at noon. I wanted to talk to you, besides that announcement, I want to talk to you a little bit today about parts of an essay. Actually, no, we'll talk about parts of an essay later. I want to talk about the writing process. I'll give you another video about parts of an essay. The writing process is extremely important. Some of you may be very familiar with the term writing process. Others may be like, I don't even know what you're talking about, writing process. When you write a paper, don't you just sit down and write the introduction, body, conclusion, and you're ready to go? Well, no, not necessarily. There's more to it than that. There doesn't have to be more to it than that, but to make your essay writing experience better, there's more to it than that. If you go through this whole writing process that I'm going to quickly and briefly explain to you, then your essays will be better, they'll be easier, and they won't take as long. So I'm pretty sure all of you are interested in that. So here's the writing process. There are when I explain the writing process, there are three parts. If you find it in the book, there may be more than three parts. But for our purposes, there are three parts. The first part is pre-writing. The second part is writing. And the third part is rewriting. So yeah, I try to make that real easy on you. They've all got the same word: writing, pre-writing, writing, and rewriting. So let me break down the three parts real fast for you. If this was an in-class class, if we actually met, we would go through these, in a class, and we'd do some exercises that explained exactly which was which. We don't really have that luxury since we don't meet. It makes it really difficult to do something like that. So if you guys want to know more or want any clarifications, just shoot me an email or shoot me a text, let me know, and then I'll do whatever it takes to make sure it makes sense. So in the pre-writing phase, that's when you do your brainstorming. Now, we brainstorm in things for two different reasons. The first one is to come up with topics, and the second one is, after you get your topic, to actually come up with ideas for the paper. So before you actually write the paper, to come up with ideas for the paper. So if I say, hey guys, I need you to write a paper about the best day of your life. Okay, so I've given you something to write about, but you don't have a specific topic yet. So what you might do is you might think, okay, I'm going to make a list of every single day that has been influential in my life. And so you may come up with 3, you may come up with 10, you may come up with 15. And so what you do is you write a list of those days. So before you even start writing or thinking you're obviously thinking, but start writing an introduction or an essay or anything, you're just going to make a list of the days. So you're not going to hop right into the paper. A lot of us, if we were given that assignment, we would say, usually it's going to be, the day I had a kid. But if we don't have kids, you might be like, I don't know, if you're 18 years old, straight out of high school, graduation, or when I got that car Mom and Dad got me for my 16th birthday, it was great. Or unfortunately, maybe something, like maybe a bad day was influential. If the assignment is an influential day. So anyway, you might just think of the first thing like, that'll work. I'll just write a paper. I don't want to think about this. I'll just write a paper on that. But if you'll take the time to write out all the important days and then say, that one won't work. I like this one. I like this one. I know I could write an essay on number 1, 7, and 8. So I know I can write an essay on those. And so if you take the time to do that and narrow it down and pick out your best three, and then maybe jot down some notes for each one of those three in the list, your top three out of the 10 you wrote down, jot down some notes, you're going to realize that as you start writing about each one just a little bit, that one of them is going to be easier to write about than the others. And then that might be the one you decide to choose. Or if you wrote just a paragraph on each, just kind of basic response paragraph, this day was important because you may find that though one of them's easier to write about, the other one means a lot more to you. So the essay is going to be easier to write just because you care so much about it, and it's easier for us to write things that are central to us, that we care the most about. So hopefully you can see that those are important ways to go about choosing. So before we even start writing the paper, we've spent time thinking about what we're actually going to write about. When you do that, it is going to make the rest of the writing process, writing the essay, easier. If you do the work up front, in the writing process, if you do the work up front, writing the rest of the essay will be easy. Usually when we're assigned an essay, we get the essay assignment from the teacher, we write down the essay question or prompt or whatever, and we sit there in front of a blank screen or a blank sheet of paper. And we're like, and then we start something, and then we scratch through it. And then we start something, and we scratch through it. Or we're just like, whatever, and don't care, and it's not that good. You see what I'm saying? So, and then the experience is never a good one. That's probably why we all hate writing. Writing doesn't have to be something you hate. I know every single one of you, maybe one person who's reading this video is thinking, oh God, I don't want to write these papers in this class. I hate writing. I'm not a good writer. English is not my thing. Guys, writing's a skill. So it doesn't matter if you like it or it doesn't like you or you haven't done well in the past. Writing's a skill, and this term we're going to get better at it. So the very first thing you can do when you're assigned a paper is to do some pre-writing. So we just pre-wrote kind of for a topic. If I give you a very specific topic, and I would say, hey guys, I need you to argue whether or not German Shepherd is the best breed of dog. Right, so I gave you a topic. All you have to do is pick yes or no. You don't have to brainstorm whether you want yes or no. It's just either you think that or you don't think that. Well, then you might want to brainstorm to come up with ideas for the paper. So you could sit down and write down, okay, if I'm going to argue that the German Shepherd is the best dog. My brother has a German Shepherd, so that's why I thought German Shepherd don't have any dogs. So if I'm like, okay, I'm going to go with German Shepherd is the best breed of dog. I'm going to write down all the possible reasons, just in a list. Or I didn't have to write it in the list. If I just want to kind of journal and just write in a journal and just write a big paragraph about all the things that are good, I personally prefer lists. If you don't have to use lists, whatever you want to do. But I might write down all the ways that German Shepherds are great dogs, and then maybe all the ways that I know of that maybe they're not so great. And then like maybe if my 4 German Shepherds is a bigger list, then I know that I'm going to go 4. So and if I've got a list of the things that of why they're so darn good, well, those reasons are going to be the points in my essay, right? My body paragraphs in my essay, which we'll talk more about later, those points are going to be what I'll use in my essay. So just having written down some of the reasons that I think, some of the answers to the essay prompt, the essay question, just writing down some answers in a list, I've already done the hard part on writing the essay. I just have to organize them now and add a bunch of detail, obviously, to write the paragraphs. Then once we figure out what it is that we want to write about, before we move on to the writing part, in pre-writing, a lot of people like to write outlines. I'm not going to ask you to write me an outline for every paper, maybe a couple of them, but not for every paper. But outlines are extremely important to some people. Some people it helps out a lot. It helps me a lot. I don't see how it could hurt anybody, but it's not something I'm not gonna make you do any of these particular pre-writing tactics. But I just wanted you to know of some. Making lists, maybe writing out like just kind of a free writing journal entry or writing an outline. Those are all really good ways to pre-write. Writing is just when we actually write the draft of the paper. We sit down, we've got our pre-writing that we did over here, and now we're just taking those ideas and organizing them into an essay. And that's writing. So writing is when you actually write a draft of the essay. You actually write the essay down. And then there's rewriting. And rewriting, there are a couple of different parts. There's proofreading and editing. Proofreading is going through and you can do this, you can have somebody else do this. Anybody can look at your paper and tell you what's wrong with it, and then you go back and change it. Now, obviously, I don't want them going in, and it's cheating. Obviously, if they go in and they say, "Oh, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong," and then they change it for you, or they put something in better for you, well, that's their writing, not your writing, right? So you don't want them to do that because that's basically cheating. I may or may not ever know whether a friend of yours went through and said, "Oh, I like this word better," and puts in a different word, or even worse, of course, that wouldn't be so bad, but like taking out 3 sentences and putting in their own 3 sentences. I mean, they're writing the paper for you, right? That's cheating. So we don't want that. But for them to come in and say, "Hey, this is wrong. You might want to do this," and give you advice, that's purely fine. And you go through and make the changes you deem necessary. Well, that's rewriting. That's going in and proofreading to find out what's wrong with the paper. What do I need to change to make it just right? And then also going through and making those changes. That's called editing. So after you've done all that, that is the writing process. Pre-writing, writing, and rewriting. Be ready for a quiz on that. I will get you a video soon. Post it, hopefully just after this one, if I don't think of something else to talk about before now and then. And I will get that up for you, and it will be parts of an essay, which is extremely important because that's kind of what we have to understand before we actually start writing this first essay. Okay, so hope you're doing well, and obviously you can shoot me a text or shoot me an email. A lot of people already have, and I think I've been able to help them real fast. So if you have any issues at all, or just want to talk it out because you're nervous about something, that'll happen closer to when papers are due, then please do so, guys. Hope you're well. Take care. Bye bye.